Before we begin, let's pray for the Prophet and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, sweeties. The second season begins at the party with Jae, the time after she left Yuri for Kivar. They really do love each other, and he's celebrating the new year with her. He's about to kiss her, and they're together, happy. She's emotional, but she's not sure what she's imagining. She goes to look at her school uniform and says many things since she first wore it and entered school. She remembers all the moments she shared with the team, their joy and sadness, how they were all centered around her, and how happy they were with her. She puts on the uniform and sees herself remembering simple things with Kivar, and New Year's Eve when she was with him and left Yuri, who they were supposed to be in a relationship with to avoid going broke. She snaps out of it and tries to be stronger because she needs to be stronger and focus on her current situation. She gets ready in her school uniform and sees that she missed a lot of messages because she was going to meet the king of failures, who is Kev, and she was thinking about meeting him. She accepted Yuri's marriage proposal, so she shouldn't go near Kev at all. Her aunt comes in, very happy with the room because she changed it and made it better. That's why she tells her that Yuri came and asked their permission to go out with her, and he's downstairs now, so she lets her go. She goes to think about his ring and says that she's currently engaged to Yuri, so she has to stop thinking about Kev completely. She tries to be strong and wants to forget what happened at the beginning of this year. She kills time and goes downstairs to go back to school, but she finds Yuri waiting for her. He goes to greet her and decides to spend time with her. He offers to carry her bag because it's his duty as her fiancé, but she's shocked by the word, because it's a really big word. Suddenly, Ars comes out and refuses to let her go with Yuri, but he doesn't care, because he's not the one who's going to be a hacker from now on, since he's already engaged to her. And she goes to talk to him and tells him that she wants to be with Yuri and talk to him. And Yuri likes this because he no longer has a relationship with him, now since he's now her fiancé, and they walk together under the pressure of Iris, who might not like him at all. So he walks to school, and she's still very confused, waiting for a moment to see how. He goes to check on her, and she tells him that she has not spoken to Angelo at all yet, and this is because she is not ready for him at all. And from here he feels sorry for him because he was not sincere in his feelings for her, but now he will explain all his feelings, and this makes her think that since she is his fiancé, she must know what happened with Kafir on New Year's Eve, and she comes to say that it is related to Kafir for sure. And he shocks her and falls asleep because he is not. He wants to hear this now, and he doesn't want her to be sorry because he understood her. He's willing to wait until their wedding day. He holds her hand and reassures her so she doesn't worry, telling her he hopes she'll give him a chance and not close her heart so she can love him, and they can both love each other. This affects her deeply, and she doesn't know what she feels for him. Does she truly love him? Or is it because he treats her well? Or is it her duty to her family? She's not paying attention to anything else and is only thinking about how their classmates will find out. But he doesn't care, wanting problems, especially if they find out about her and Kiefer having feelings for each other. She decides to take off her ring and put it in her necklace to hide their relationship. He goes and jokes with her, not wanting them to become sensitive, and wanting them to act like they're still friends, joking around as usual. As she's walking away, he immediately kisses her. He shocks her, but he's happy. Then she asks him to stop coming to pick her up. He picks her up from school, so no one notices, and she walks away while he focuses on her. She goes back into school with all the other students, and acts normal. But as she walks, she's thinking about Kafir. He comes and startles her, taking her aside immediately. He makes her feel bad about what happened and reminds her that she was still saying hurtful things on her first day. He's going to kiss her, and he tries to do so, but she stops him right away because he knows what she's going through and wants him to stop flirting. He doesn't understand what's wrong with flirting because he loves her, and it affects her deeply. But she doesn't want this because she feels like she's cheating on him and wants him to stay away. He insists otherwise because they're not in a relationship, so there's no cheating. She tries to get him to leave, but he stops her because they really aren't in a relationship, and he's only interested in her. She sees him as crazy, but that doesn't matter to him. She focuses on him even more, and then he kisses her. She completely gives in to him, and he does this all the time. Of course, she lets herself go because she loves Keith, and this reminds her of New Year's Eve. But then she remembers Yuri's words that he'll wait for her even until their wedding day. That's why she goes and hits Keith, injuring him, and runs away. He's surprised she could do that. When she arrives at the classroom, everyone welcomes her, and she's very happy. The first person she meets is Calix, and she checks on her equipment. She also checks on his girlfriend, Mika, and says things are going well between them. They joke around together, but then she goes to meet Drew, who she sees is still watching them. She's happy and sees everyone in the classroom checking on their friends. She ignores the lunch incident and goes to each class, not knowing what's happening. She keeps asking about CN, but he doesn't answer anyone. She's thinking about nothing happened to him, but she welcomed the others. Suddenly, Kiefer appeared in class, and they noticed he had a cut on his lip. They made fun of him, and she was happy that this happened to him. She then focused on the whole class and saw that nothing had changed with him. They were happy and playing together. But then Yor came and sat down. And Kiefer came too. Each one sat in his place and focused on him. Noticing that, many things had indeed changed. Suddenly the teacher came and welcomed them back to the class. And they were very happy. He told them that many things had changed. That there would be many activities ahead. And that there would be final exams that would determine whether the student would graduate or not. Yor reassured her and told her that she would graduate, and she was very happy. Kiefer saw this and was annoyed by their closeness. Then it was time for food, and he gave them a small portion. He takes many things that aren't available to everyone else, and he takes what he wants. He goes and sits next to Jay, who wants him to move away from her for a while, but when she tries to get up, he pulls her back and tells her that he's going to tell everyone what happened to her on New Year's Eve or what, but she refuses and goes to celebrate with him until Yuri arrives. She checks on him because Kiefer is bothering her as usual, and that's why he tells her that she has to remember that she belongs to him always. So she gets up and leaves, not wanting anyone to follow her. This bothers Yuri, and Kiefer is very happy. She goes up to the roof and is very happy because no one will bother her there anymore. She keeps checking the CN, who is still missing and whose whereabouts are unknown. Suddenly Drex arrives looking upset. She goes and sits next to him to find out what's bothering him. He realizes that he's upset with himself because he's a coward. He believes that love in return is a bad thing because he can't show his love to the other person. And that's why. I think it's good that he's better off stuck between two people over nothing, and he's giving her his beloved, the one he loves, and the one who is her is the one who's shocked because her appearance has changed so much from the first one, and she doesn't want to know anyone. He's picking on her and loving the rest, and they're happy, and she's going to finish food, and she knows that he misses the food and is thinking about love. So time passes, and when she goes home, she finds that there's a lot of guidance, but she finds out that they have a visitor. She finds that CNN is the one who came to her, and she goes and worries about him because he did not go to school, and her aunt leaves them alone because she misses him so much. And she goes to hit him because he is here and did not go to school, and she wants to know what happened to him. And she sees that he got into trouble and that his brother imprisoned him and led Langtra because he causes problems all the time and is imprisoned for a long time. But she knows him and that she is worried about him and is checking on him, but he tells her that he ran away after taking everything. He needs her and will stay here with her because he told Angelo and he agreed. Angelo comes and confirms his words, then goes to look at Jay and leaves immediately because they can't stand each other. She tells him that his mother won't look for him and no one will care about him at all, and that he will sleep in her room like Angelo said. He runs to get her up right away, passing by as she's trying to sleep, but he's in the bathroom singing so loudly that he wakes her up. She goes to check if Yorio has greeted her, but Kaffer has sent her a message and is joking with her in the morning. She's happy, then embarrassed, and goes to sleep. When Sin comes out and sings, she gets annoyed but goes downstairs right away while he's singing, seeing that he acts like he's in his own home. She can't get up to go to school at all, so she goes down for breakfast. Ars leaves as soon as she arrives, but she goes to Sakana and wonders if Anas did something to him. He's already sad, and decides to get up and leave. She follows him, wanting to know what happened, because he's never been so sad before. She wants to know what Gars told him, what he told her about knowing she should leave the station, and that he needs to stay away from her, but she denies it and doesn't want anyone to leave her. Kiefer arrives, upset, and everyone hears because rumors are spreading that she's leaving the station. She continues to deny it, and they all make a pointless drama. They don't want her to leave the station at all. C grabs her, and Yuri arrives and sees this, but she sends him away so he can catch Kiefer, since he's going to Lars. It's then that she tells them her father's number is on her phone, and that she chose to stay at the station. Rishin comes to stop Kiefer before he does something bad, so he fights him, knocks him down and upsets him, but Kiefer goes to fight him, and Kiefer is definitely stronger. He hits Kiefer, but one of his friends, Ares, decides to hit Kever, injuring him. He then tries to humiliate him and attacks him again. Yuri immediately defends Kever and sides with him, but they keep fighting. Jajai intervenes, and they want Jajai to leave because she's the cause of all the trouble. Feria can't stand them at all, and because Idrix loves her, he stays away. Kever just wants a fight and gives her an ultimatum. Them or Ares. Feria goes to apologize to them and to Ares, telling him she won't leave the department. This makes Kever happy, and the whole team rejoices. Kever tells her she's lost the chance to be with her father, and that she's the one who will suffer. That's why Kever challenges him, since he always gets what he wants. He promises Jai he'll take her to her father, which upsets Yuri greatly. They continue to challenge each other. Jai goes up to the roof and brings Kever food to eat so he can heal his wound. He lets her go and heal his wound. She does it herself, and that's why he apologizes to her, and she's happy that he knows how to apologize like that. He realizes he should apologize to many people, but that's not his concern because she's the only one who matters to him. He deeply affects her, and they focus intently on each other. When she tries to leave, he pulls her close, and their focus intensifies. They both think about New Year's Eve together, but then Yuri arrives. He doesn't want to let her go and will fight for her. She's torn between them, literally torn between choosing one over the other. She wakes up from the recurring dream she has, and she doesn't know who she's dreaming about because it feels so real. She goes to see Yuri and he greets her. She thinks about Kivar, wondering why she shouldn't message him. And she thinks about the age where he's given up everything and left him for her. He tries to wake her up, but she doesn't, so he leaves. She runs off, but her friend follows her and tells her that someone is following her. She decides to call Kivar and does this. You find two people fighting with him and he goes to fight them. She wants to run away, but she ends up fighting with him. Asha won't leave him alone, and they beat them up. But then another person comes and tells her that they want Yaya because of the infidel. She denies that they're in a relationship at all. But he wants her. When he's about to take her, he goes to defend her and gets hurt. She's very shocked. Then we go to the chapter ending. And they leave, but Yuri and Kiefer are sitting there, surprised that Jaja hasn't come. They feel that something is wrong and they're very scared. Yuri is worried about her and knows why he hasn't called her. He remembers when they met and decided to challenge each other. Kiefer wants Jaja to decide who she'll be with so they can actually challenge each other. Then two drivers arrive, not knowing where Jaja is, and they find out that she's in the hospital. So he rushes there and keeps calling her to find her because he's going crazy with worry. He asks everyone about her, and everyone searches until they finally find her. They go to the hospital, and it turns out her friend, Rory, is the one who got hurt and needs to rest for a week. They learn that she was there because she was affected by the blood on his wound, and that his temper flared. She tried to take her to her friend, but David and his men hadn't even reached the hospital yet. The people there warn him to call and stop pretending to be a hero. He calls someone to check on Jaja, who tells him she was shocked by the blood on Rory. They see how he always gets her into trouble, and is desperate for everything to be fixed when he gets back. He's thinking a lot, and they still don't know who he's talking to. Meanwhile, Shayjay is thinking that she's the one who faints when she sees blood like that. She remembers all the situations that happened to her when things were like this, and she keeps thinking about how he always goes to her when she's shocked and crying a lot. He always hugs her while she's crying and tries to comfort her. She remembers that he's always the one who's there for her and eases her pain in her moments of weakness. He goes to check on her, and she's afraid of Ram's gang that's chasing them. That's why he keeps comforting her, because she's seen a lot of blood, even though she doesn't hurt anyone. All he does is reassure her. She says that she knows Yuri is engaged to her, but she can't help feeling different and sweet feelings towards Jaffer. He goes to comfort her and repeatedly carries her around the hospital. Yuri is with her now, and suddenly, he sees Keith carrying JJ, walking with her, and they're both focused on each other. He's very shocked, but he continues walking normally until Yuri goes to him, focuses on her, and tells her that he will never abandon her and will fight for her. She thinks this is all a dream, and if it is, she wants to wake up. The game and the struggle for JJ will begin, with Kif and Yuri. They both fight. JJ, who no longer knows how to act after what happened to her and how she was hurt, but Rory defended her. There's also what happened between Kif and Yuri. But here there's a fight, in the classroom, and they teach her how to defend herself. Each of them tries to overcome the other, and test their strength against JJ. Then it's Sien's turn to defeat Killix. She says that what happened in front of her, she wouldn't be able to do it herself. But she tells Sukamph to read the book and do a karate move. He does it, and they give him a big cheer. JJ didn't expect him to know how to do it and wants him to teach her, but he leaves. Then it's Kif's turn. He prepares her, and she tries to ignore him, but she says that she'll definitely know how to protect herself. That's why Yuri leaves. He teaches her how to defend herself, how to protect herself, and how to prevent anyone from approaching her or taking what they want. He then challenges her, and it's clear he's referring to her. Then it's Kiffer's turn, and he teaches her how to use a hair weapon. He tells her to focus on every movement of her opponent so she can analyze their actions. They encourage her, and she goes with him. He tries to teach her, but she avoids him. He immediately pulls her close and holds her, and everyone applauds them. Yuri is already at his wit's end. He tells her she needs to intimidate her opponent and follow her instincts. She attacks him and pushes him away, and everyone is overjoyed. Yuri watches, happy, and they applaud her for what she did. But then she starts thinking about which self-defense technique to use. So she goes for a walk with the bad guy, feeling nervous. But then she gets a message from Yuri asking where she is. She can't even think straight about what's happening, and just wanders aimlessly. C tries to pull her back to focus on where she's going, explaining that they're teaching her how to defend herself and that it's for her own good, not just to avoid getting hurt. When she flirts with the girls, she threatens to tell his girlfriend, Reki, so he keeps quiet. But then he remembers the scent of Ayla, the girl he used to be with, but she wronged him. Her classmates are bullying him, and she didn't do anything wrong. They even accused him of stealing, and she didn't defend him. This makes her remember that she's the reason for everything that happened, and that Kiefer was the one who told him. She realizes that Kiefer still loved her back then, and she's deeply affected and her heart aches. She goes to class and thanks him for teaching them how to fight. She thinks that Yuri taught them, but they know that everyone knows how to fight, regardless of their skill level. She talks to Mayo and argues with him about the game they play, saying it's parkour, while Mayo calls it kapoor. They keep arguing, until Kev comes and stops them because they're acting like children. He argues with her again, and each of them is sticking to their opinion. He tells her she's using bad language, and she's making a scene and covering her mouth. Everyone is watching because he's going to kiss her, according to their agreement. He goes up to her, and no one knows what's going on, but he decides to kiss her right there in front of everyone. Yuri is shocked, and she pushes him away. Everyone is talking about her and focusing on each other under Yuri's watchful eye, and he's extremely annoyed. He tries to pass the time in class, where she asks them many questions and some people answer. Everyone has a different opinion and answer, and they keep defending each other. Jay gets up and supports both of them, because they need to understand each other, and she sees that Yuri isn't. Even looking at her or her way around, the teacher makes them write an essay about it. They get very upset, and she goes to distribute the papers to the class who don't have any. She goes to talk to Yuri, who can't stand her, and she talks about what happened. He says nothing happened, but the teacher yells at her, scares her, and shuts her up immediately. This makes everyone make fun of her, and they go and write about what they're talking about. But she throws Yuri aside to talk about what happened, and they write to each other on this paper. He can't stand her, but he writes to her to focus on the lesson, not on him, which makes her surprised. She writes back to him, letting him know he's probably upset about what happened with Kiefer. She keeps writing him lots of papers, so he'll reply, and he gives her the papers right away. Kiefer notices that they're communicating through papers, and she gets upset with him. That's why the teacher kicks her out. Outside all the time, she lets everyone come to her, but she comes here and goes alone, and she is upset about what happened, and she goes to take the neighbor and play with him, and she does not understand anything. But Yuri comes to her and fights her and laughs at her, and he is sorry that she was expelled because of his insult, and she sees that unfortunately he will not change anything, and he tells her that he came to feel sorry for her and joins her now, and makes her wonder what is going on with her. He wanted to talk to him a while ago, but what has changed now is that he focuses on her and lets her know that he really wants her. He is not upset with her, but he is jealous because he loves her and is not able to do anything more than that, and he does not know how to control his feelings for her since she is engaged to him, and no one knows. He saw another person next to her, and he is very sad because he did not want this to happen at all. I was shocked at the time, and it may be that she does not love him, but she stood on the engagement and that she will be his fiancé, and he will be affected, and that is why she goes to hold his hand. She gets close to him and hugs him tightly, and they're both deeply affected. He gives her a kiss on the cheek, and they gaze intently at each other. He's completely taken with it, happy and moved, then leaves her in shock. She goes outside and he yells at her for being there. She doesn't understand what's happening, but he tells her she belongs to him and him alone. If he ever gets close to her again, he'll regret it, throw her away, and leave. He's really mean. Time passes, and she goes home. She tells him she doesn't want to see him like this again because she doesn't know how to deal with him. His behavior reminds her of her ex-fiancé. She's in her room with her friend, playing around, and he seems to be acting like he's at home, not caring about anyone. She goes to sit alone while he eats ice cream. He thinks she's acting strangely, so she goes to talk to him. He suggests they watch a movie together, but she stops him. She asks him if he's ever seen him upset before, and what he looks like. He confirms that he's seen him before, when he was upset with Yuri, and it was when I was there. He kept hitting Yuri, and no one could stop him because no one can stand up to Kivaru when he's angry. Anyone who gets near him gets hit. She says she feels sorry for Yuri, but he sees him as a coward, which is why he's always clinging to Kivaru, afraid to confront him. She says Yuri does things on his own without telling anyone, and that she should stay away from Yuri if he tries to get close to her. They go to watch a movie, and he chooses what he wants. Suddenly his stomach hurts from the ice cream, so she takes him to the bathroom immediately and leaves. She chooses the movie herself, but he has a folder with her, and she sees strange things. So she opens the secrets video and sees that they are holding Kiko and beating him severely because of Yoro and Kiefer. They are punishing him for getting close to Jaiga J at the party and putting her in danger. They all go to beat him up for a while, and she is shocked that they are torturing Kiko so much and are very happy about it. She cries for him because they are torturing him in the first place, and she is shocked that they would do this to someone and keep humiliating him. Kiefer is happy with what he is doing and is filming it, but then he comes out and is pleased and sees that she saw the video and wants to know why they did this to Kiko. So the day passes, and she is going to confront them about what happened, even if it will upset them and remind her of what Kiko did to her. But she sees that they went too far because he was punished enough that night and was kicked out, so they didn't need to go And they do all this to him. And because of that, he makes her know that they did this for her. And in order to save her, he tries to stop her so that she does not know how to do it, so that then he turns on them. And because of that, she goes to hit him with the man, push him away, and threaten him because she wants to know which hospital he is staying in. So he sells time and repeats that she goes to him there, not knowing whether she will feel when she sees him, whether with anger or pity or compassion. Why does she go to him and she is so attached, broken and tired, and she came to check on him after what happened to him. And because of that, he makes her know that he deserves this. So she has no sympathy for him and she feels sorry for him all the time, even though he did not know what he was doing at the time. But his heart was broken because she rejected him, and even though these are excuses, and he does not understand why what happened, he asks her for forgiveness. And this is what she agrees to, and she does not want him to do this again. And he is affected. She knows that she is here alone. No one is with her. And he feels relieved. And suddenly they are angry at her. They're definitely looking for her. And he sees it. He sees how lucky she is that everyone cares about her and would fight for her. Unlike how he was with her at all. He knows he'll only be out of the hospital for a month. But a full recovery takes 8 months, followed by physical therapy. He also knows he was expelled from school and left his studies because he didn't want someone like him around. He makes fun of himself and talks about how she was kind to him but suddenly changed. He says that when her friend died, she went to Keith, Yuri, and Aries, and if she wants to know her story, she should ask them. She goes to class and he yells at her because he was worried about her. Yuri says she went somewhere and she's trying to avoid them. Keith and Yuri are worried about her, and she promises to tell them later. She sees everyone is focused on her, so she goes and sits in her usual seat between the two of them. She thinks about what happened to Freya with Keith, Yuri, and Aries, and she thinks about going to each of them for a while. She's currently focused on Adrex, and she sees everything. She's surrounded by people, and she's already thinking. Then the food server arrives and everyone eats. She's talking to Keith, thinking he's crazy. She goes to walk with Cien, who's about to expose her for being with Kiko, but she tells him he's with her now and not moving. She goes and hits him because she doesn't know what happened to him. When she curses at him, he's about to tell Kefir, so she takes him and leaves him immediately. She doesn't want him to tell anyone because everyone will know about him now. She sees Josh feeding this cat and being intimate with her. They talk about cats, and Josh is introducing them, but he's already affected. He tells her to recognize these two colors, and she doesn't want Kefir to ever know them because she doesn't know what he's like when he's upset. He's their friend and wants them to be okay and together. She sees him as well and thinks clearly. Suddenly a cat bites Kian, and he's afraid he might get rabies. He goes to get him vaccinated and then Fury comes. He sends a message about her because she's so close to him, and she knows he's jealous again. She sees that he's jealous too, and that they're both jealous of Cien. They talk about what's happening, as if it happened with anyone else. She takes it lightly and leaves immediately. Then she goes up to Kate to check on him and May, who's still upset. She confirms their relationship is still shaky, because he's having to choose between himself and his family. She tries to encourage him, but he thinks it's easy to talk because she's not in his shoes. He gets very sad and thinks about taking her hand and kissing her, thinking it will make him a man. May sees this and they both joke about it, but May gets upset and misunderstands. She makes him explain to himself, and he thinks he's being silly and wants to show off. So she goes to Kate and he gets upset with her. She says she didn't let him, he kisses her. And Adrex comes and sees this. He threatens her with a kiss if he finds out. Mayu goes and argues with him, unable to stand her. He tells her she'll make everyone flirt with him because she's no different from Ella. This makes her hit her immediately, shocking everyone. She leaves with Adrex and Mayu is getting treatment. He's happy she's learned to defend herself. Suddenly he sees pictures of Feria with a new boyfriend and is very sad. He can't get close to her because she hates the department. To comfort her, she tells him she's crazy, and that being away from her is better. Suddenly Mayu comes and apologizes for what he said, because she's different from Ella. They both apologize to each other, and he sits down. She's with them, checking on him, and talking about Adrex, who's sad because of a girl. She goes to him because she hasn't noticed him at all. Falling in love is difficult. But they see that Keith and Yuri are pursuing her and actually love her. Mayo thinks Keith is greedy when it comes to a girl, while Yuri is good, and if he were in her place, he'd choose Yuri. He loves Yuri and she chose him, which is why Kevin fought with him. She knows that Kate is always quiet after his girlfriend's death, and she's sad for him. She gets distracted when she sees Yuri and Keith, and he goes to get closer to her. She sees that those around her, or those who get close to her, are hurt. She focuses on Keith and thinks about what's said about him and also what's said about Yuri. She goes to focus on both of them and doesn't know who to choose. So what do you think, Gaga? Who should she choose? Write to me in the comments and don't forget your lovely likes that encourage us to continue, sweeties. Gaga is sitting in class, thinking about how time will pass and about things. Katira keeps thinking about Leorio and Kiefer. unsure of her feelings or who she wants. She's lost in thought, but the teacher stops her and asks about what he was explaining. She can't answer at all, saying there are still questions she doesn't know the answers to. Then recess comes around and Kiefer tells her they can go at a certain time, but she leaves right away. Leorio offers to drive her, but she leaves again. She decides to avoid both of them for a while, as they can't stand each other right now. We then see Sagan organizing his toys in Jay's room. When Jay arrives, he pesters her to buy him some action toys, but she refuses. He keeps begging, thinking he's good at persuading her and that he really wants her to buy them. He gets very upset and leaves her room, having stopped talking to her. Why does she agree to buy it? So that he stops having sex with her and she decides to take it with him instead of going alone. But he refuses and wants her to be the one to go and buy this. And I see that she is going bankrupt because of him and brings money with her, so why will she go and buy it? When she goes, she finds messages from Kaffer saying where she will go tomorrow. And Yuri also has the same question, and I see that they are very annoying to her. And she goes to buy the car, what she wants. So she goes and chooses exactly what he wants. But suddenly David comes and gives her a drink because she is really afraid of him. And he goes to let her know that he will get her at his expense. And she goes to choose along the way so that he will get it for her. And suddenly a bad thing comes to him because he wants his drink, which she is getting in the first place. So David brings her and she informs him that she came to get Dills, and he is alone now because his brain is very busy during this period. So he knows that these are random thoughts, basically, and suddenly he's messaging her and wants to know where she is, but she doesn't care because they're just friends. David knows this and thinks they're together, which is unfair to her. She confronts him and shows him attention, and he focuses on her because of what she's doing. But he's also focused on the necklace and the ring on it, which she says he gave her, but she can't wear it yet. She thinks he gave her the necklace because someone else delivered it to her, and she wants to know who that person is. She keeps trying to figure out who it is. He tells her to recognize any of the fictional characters, and that Pierce gave it to her and sent it. She wants him to try to contact him somehow, and she keeps asking for it back because she really wants to contact him. He takes a picture so he can reply quickly and sends Dahlia. He does send Dahlia, telling him that she'll remove the ring from the necklace instead of him killing Yor when he returns. This shocks her greatly, so he sells time passes, and it's quite a while. Sai is scared by her terrifying appearance. She starts thinking about why Percy imitated her, and C keeps making fun of her. He goes and gets the phone she threw away, which is currently ringing her, but she got rid of it because she can't find any answers. It's Kiefer calling her, surprised that she's not answering, which scares her. He asks her to go to the store with Iman, which she agrees to. He's very happy and hangs up immediately. Sai isn't coming with him because he's going to Rocky and her sisters, so she'll go alone. He goes into the bathroom before her to bother her as usual, then leaves to go to Rocky's. She's waiting for Iman to come to her, but she finds some guys already waiting for her. She thinks about getting into a fight with them again, but Iman arrives and decides to take her with him. He thinks about getting into a fight, and then they leave. So she goes to the store together to choose food for class. She walks around, snooping around with her friends, picking out more things, thinking she's doing well and won't see Kif again. She imagines things as she walks, gets scared, and then feels relieved because it was just her imagination. Literally, she sees Yoro and Kif everywhere she goes. She decides to leave the whole place and starts walking. Suddenly, Kif approaches her, and she bumps into him. She buys him the candy he likes, and he realizes he likes sweets, but it's a different kind, especially her lips. He focuses on her and she's very shy, but ignores it and refuses to respond because she hasn't been responding to him lately. He thinks he's done something wrong and argues with Kif about who gets to hold the shopping cart. They end up holding it. The two of them go together, and she lets him buy the products she wants. She keeps going to pay, and he tells her he discovered something about her father. He leaves immediately, so she goes shopping with Iman. She laughs because they're currently in a relationship with Rak, and they're both happy. He decides to take a picture, and they're both very pleased that he's enjoying himself. Unlike them, they all joke around together, and she lets them leave first, saying she'll join them later. Suddenly, Kevin calls her and wants them to go together so he can tell her what he found out about her father. She goes with him to his house, and she notices he uses different cars every day. She wants a different one and sees that he has many cars. He's willing to give her his entire house if she leaves Yuri. He reminds her that she belongs to him and him alone, and he affects her. But she tells him that all of this isn't real right now, and that's why he decides to change it and make it real so that it will always be hers. She's deeply affected and keeps walking, so she goes to see her friends at home. They're enjoying themselves and upsetting her because of the fight that happened between her and Kaffer. That's why she goes to Kilix, who's sitting quietly. He asks Adrex to get a picture of her father, who's in America, and business there is important. She gets many pictures and thinks that he's with Percy now, that they're together. Kylix is shocked that they're together, but that's the most information they've been able to get her. She doesn't know if they're together, and doesn't know the truth at all. She's in a state of shock, and everyone is upset. She thinks that she has many questions and needs answers, but how? He reassures her by promising that even if she has many questions, he'll be there for her and get her the answers. She thanks him for helping her find her father. She goes home and keeps thinking about what happened. Feeling sad, Sin notices the medicine. She is crying and does not know what happened. And because of that, she tells him that she discovered something about her father, and instead of being happy, she is sad because their situation is very complicated. But he makes it easy for her and goes to joke with him to get her out of what she is in. He says that his mother said that she is buying him an apartment of his own and wants him to be independent. And she sees that this is the best because he was alone all along and she wants to be his help and be with him. But she gets annoyed with him because he is rotten and goes anywhere, literally scolding him, and he changes and walks along. So she sends David a message to Percy about him disappearing in front of her from a second and she will not care about him at all. He is confused and sends the same things to Percy and thinks about this friend of his and blames him. So he has a mouth on him now, and I see that he cannot blame her, but David does not. Want to know what happened? Because if he knew, he would not let him. By getting closer to her, he thanks him for his interest in Jay, and that's why. He cares about his friends in America and checks on them, but he's still in Jay and doesn't want to fall in love with her at all. She wants him to come back quickly, and he's sad. His mother goes to get him food and refuses to let him return to his country because he needs to focus on his health now and keep him away from anything bad because of what happened to him there. Suddenly his father arrives, and it turns out he's Jay's father, which is a surprise. Because of this, Pierce considers Jay his brother. He goes to get ready to leave, and suddenly Yuri calls her and wants to go to church with her. He's already on his way to her and is trying to trap her. He calls her again and wants to know what she's doing, but she goes to get dressed and tells him she's going with Yuri. He allows her to go, but not too late, and she leaves right away. They see this as her way of getting closer to him, so she goes to church with him. She still can't imagine herself getting married, and there's no other option because of her family. She needs a disease, and he laughs at her because she was thinking that he was going to go to his house because he is Japanese, and he laughs at her. And suddenly many girls come and like him and see that she is less than him. And she does not know why they are fighting over her like this. But he increases her self-confidence because she is all he wants and is better than them all. And they agree on what to do. So they go to his house, and she goes to see these pictures, and he brings why is her favorite food. She still remembers from a long time ago, and she is happy with pictures of him from a long time ago. And she laughs at him, of course. He talks about how there are memories from a long time ago, and Pierce was there with them, and she gets emotional. But this is the last picture between them, and the conversation gets lost. He takes her to share food, but I hit him because he said something to her that meant she was a cow, and she remembers a long time ago, and he was basically joking. And she says that she misses him. She wants to be his friend because she feels that things are complicated right now. But for him, he goes to teach her certain things in Japanese words, and she is happy that she says it. Well, he continues to teach her many things until he says that he loves her in Japanese, and she is very confrontational. He goes to kiss her quickly, and she shares with him. But suddenly she gets hurt, and as soon as she sees blood, many things come to her mind, and the phobia comes back to her again. So he does not understand this and wants him to call. She is in disbelief and she continues to cry a lot. And he is sad for her, of course, so he sells time and goes to guide her here and reassure her. And she feels sorry for him because she didn't have to say that. This happened. But he accepts because he is also still her friend. And that she said that because he knows what happened to her a long time ago and that wrong things happen to her every time. She sees blood, and that she thought that this was a phobia. But the issue developed, and she began to hurt those around her, no matter how hard she tried. You think you don't remember? This happened to her, and this happened to her in many situations, and she was unable to control herself. Ha and Kiefer knew, and that is why she told him to call him. And he refuses that she intends to engage because he loves her and will remain like this forever. And she does not think too much, and she will discover this for herself with time. And I want her to relax. And he kisses her here, and he will be a really good person and treat her, and she will blame herself because of the chaos that is inside her. So he leaves. He takes her home and thanks her for the day they had fun together. But tomorrow he will come and tell him that she is going with Cien, and he will say goodbye to her and they will walk together and she will be resting here. But suddenly Kaffer will come to her and take her well too, and they will walk together. He comes down and is upset with her and wants to know what she did with Yuri, and she says that she went to the church and cooked together, and she says all this and he wants to know everything that happened after that. He is very emotional and does not want to lie. He's only talking to her about it. And he doesn't understand why she's acting this way towards him. He says they're together, so why are they doing this to each other? He tells her he understands her situation and shouldn't pressure her. He starts confronting her about whether she really loves Yuri or not. And she confirms it, saying she loves him. And that's why she agreed to the engagement. Then he confronts her about their New Year's Eve kiss and what she's doing with him now. He asks what he means to her and keeps pressuring her until she yells at him. She tells him she's not sure about what's happening, but the right thing to do is to be with Yuri for the sake of the engagement, and she can't bear to hurt anyone else because of it, even if he's on her mind. He goes to her crying and tells her he was the one who worried about her and everything. Unlike Yuri, he doesn't understand what's going on and how she sees him as weak because he was raised without a mother, and his father abandoned him, leaving him to raise his siblings alone. And she doesn't want to leave him at all because he really loves her. And that's why she hugs him and they both cry. He says that they didn't want anything, even if they chose Yuri, but he doesn't want anyone else. He confesses his love to her here. And she says that what Kafir said wasn't a question, but she knew the answer. She says that she loves him too, and she hugs him constantly, and they both cry together. She comforts him, and they focus on each other. She has already chosen how to snore. Cien is dreaming and arguing with someone, and he's really a strange kid. But on the other hand, Jaja, Jay is sitting happily, remembering the time she was with Kafir when he confessed his love to her. And she confessed her love to him too. She is very happy, but she is afraid of Cien's outbursts while he is sleeping. She goes to think that Kafir is the one who suddenly calls her, and she is very happy, but she answers. He checks on her, and she tells him that they yelled at her because she came home late. And that's why he suggests they tell everyone she's pregnant and get married, but she thinks he's crazy and wants them to go to sleep. He, however, is thinking about her, dreaming about each other in different places, confessing their love, especially him confessing his love for her to the end and beyond. She tells him she loves him too. Sue wakes up and overhears her, intending to find out how she has a boyfriend. He tells her what she said, but then he goes and argues with him to see who she's talking to. Suddenly, Arsua stops them because they want to sleep. She goes and argues with Cien because she's been keeping Sue up all night, and she makes him go to sleep right away. She's happy with what she said and is very pleased. The day passes, and they go to class, which Sue drops off at. She's arguing with Cien, who kept her up and made her want to sleep in the first place. But he thinks she was in love last night, and she goes and argues with him right away. Suddenly, Yuri comes and brings them food, and they're always happy with it because they're practically beggars. But Jay tries to ignore him and doesn't know how to tell him what happened because she feels it's difficult to tell him the truth. She's waiting for Kev to come. He notices this and tells her he won't be coming because his father went to his house and they're having problems right now. But she denies that she's not interested in him at all, and she denies it in front of him. But inside, she knows it's obvious she's looking for him. They see that she's very quiet and definitely misses Kev. Wasim comes and tells her what happened last night. She was talking to someone and she likes him, and he leaves when the cat comes and runs after her. But then he goes to take her food, and she catches him right away. So the day passes, and Wasim is asleep and dreaming about the cat, Eddie. Meanwhile, she's thinking about how he hasn't been to school these past few days and checking on him, but he's bored and acts like a cat. And she's scared of him because he's so strange. She's always thinking about Kafra. And suddenly he calls her and tells her he misses her terribly and wants to know what's going on with him. He goes to check on her and what's happening in class. She tells him she misses him, but he hasn't told her anything about himself, not even texting or telling her anything. She wants to know something about the problem he's facing, so he tells her it's family problems. She confronts him about how even these problems might distance him from her and prevent him from even texting. She keeps checking on him, and he likes her concern and finds her very sweet. He wishes he could see her, so she offers to send him a picture, but he's being mean, of course, and shocks her. Yes, he's just joking with her. And she still wants to know what happened. This reminds him of 3 days ago when his father arrived and wrecked the place. The servants are trying to treat him, but how does he manage? He checks on his 2 siblings, especially younger Kieran, and goes to comfort and hug them, hoping everything will calm down. They're scared because they don't want to go with their father now that he's back in the country. He's nearing the legal age and will fight for custody. He's waiting for his children's birthday to pass and tries to reassure them that they will be together. They leave immediately, and Kafir doesn't know what to do because he wants to protect his siblings, who are his family. He calls Ryder, the lawyer, wanting to talk about his father. What he feared has come true because his father is back, something he dreaded after his mother's death. He plans to prepare the paperwork to keep his siblings. He finds out about this, and Jagai is shocked. The day passes, and he's bored and goes to fight with Jajai as usual, but these men arrive and go, with Ella accompanying them. They find out where Jajai is. The Kif family has asked for them there. Sakin is scared because Kif would never do this, and he thinks this is his father, but she decides to go right away and they all leave together. The whole class is gathered at Kif's house, unaware of what's happening. Jay recognizes the place and they're waiting for Kif. Then, Kif's father arrives, a very unpleasant person, and goes to greet them. They see everyone there and are surprised, which is why he's drawn here. This is why they know he's not as patient as before. They're there to eat with his son's friends, and he welcomes them warmly. Suddenly this car arrives, carrying Kafir and Yuri. They see that they've all gathered together and hope they're all well and safe. They're downplaying what happened and don't know why his father brought them here. They all follow him inside, and the confusion that ensues is unbelievable. They all go inside, but Jaja is bewildered by the place. She walks upstairs, exploring what's there. She walks with Kiefer, not knowing what they're doing, but he's taken them to Yuri and his siblings. They want to work together because their father didn't bring them here without a plan, and he's definitely thinking of something else. They don't know what it is yet, but he definitely wants their brother, Kern. This is because he kidnapped Kern before, to take custody from Kiefer. Luckily, they managed to contact him and tell him what happened. They know his father wants something and will fight for it. Jaja begs that if anything happens, they should get Kern out of here and Kanjan will help them. He scares her because she's afraid. Something might happen to her, but he reassures her that her friends are there, and she wants to agree to anything to get Karen out of here. She agrees, and he leaves with his brother. He goes to let them go, and hugs her because he missed her so much, especially since he's been busy lately. He promises to make it up to her and is waiting for her to be with him. He hugs her to relax a little because he really loves her and thanks her for being there for him in this difficult situation. As she's about to leave, he stops her and gives her a quick kiss, and they leave. They're all happy with the large amount of food, and the whole class is happy anyway. They go to eat, but then his father and his men arrive. He sits with them, surrounded by everyone, and talks to Kiefer, checking on him because he has obligations towards him and his siblings. Kiefer curses him silently because he's in his house. He tells them about their gathering and confronts Ella about her past relationship with Kiefer. He looks at Jay and wants to know her name. She says her name, why, and he comes, and says it's similar to the name because he wants to know who her family are, and McIver stops him and doesn't care about him. And she goes to find out that her father's name is Gisfer Mariano, and her mother's name is Gina Fernandez, and that's why. He sees that the world is small because her family are shareholders in his telecommunications company, and that her mother's sister's name is Gemma, and he knows about her and that she and Wars are cousins. And he sees that she's not good at all. An annoyed Kaffer often breaks his hand and asks him what he wants from them to do all this, and so he goes and lets him sign this to take care of him. Lama has full control over him, and when he knows that this is his mother's money, he denies that his mother didn't have any money because she stole the company from him, and he gets angry about how he should do it, and stands in front of him all the time. And his father gets annoyed with him, and he walks, and they catch him, blasphemy, and this makes him go and fight with him, and the students go to catch him. There's only Jaya among them, and she's always walking with Kieran. That's why they go and stop them with weapons and force them all out under threat. His father sees this, but they go to him because they're already threatened, and he wants to know from his son Kieran. I don't know why they've gone this far, and he wants to get to his son. He takes Jaya, who knows where Kieran is, but she denies it and curses him. This makes his father go and realize that he knows this type of woman well because she's after his son's money, and he's stupid. He yells at them to make everyone kneel, and he does this to them. When Keith refuses to do this, he immediately hits her, and she can't stand it at all and wants him to have mercy, but he refuses. Every time she sees Keith being beaten, they all go and fight together and stop them with weapons, thinking they're brave. He goes and hits Keith and wants him to sign this, but he doesn't want to anyway. He takes it from him, and Jaya tries to. She stops him, and they are trying to make him not do this in the first place, and she is going to prevent him from hitting him. It is normal, and she is provoking him, and he sees Wars. They do not want this, but she is not afraid at all, and she knows that he will never kill a student, that people will disgrace his name like that, and that he will not have any companies with him, and she tries to influence him, and he is happy with it, and makes them put down their weapons because he took their leave, and thus their teaching of the lesson was postponed. For a couple of seconds, they walk, and he lets them walk, and she can't stand them at all, and here she can't hold herself because she was thinking that she is going to die, and you see that she is brave. But Kaffer starts yelling at her to determine Dylan, and this is a person who is not afraid of anything, because he is someone who is a professional in killing in the first place. And Kern comes and checks on her, and they think about walking and warning her that she is doing this yet. So she thinks before she makes any random decision, and then they walk away, Yuri worrying about her and making her feel uncomfortable. Ali Jajai is worried about her, so he's wasting time and she goes to eat with Cien. Kiefer messages her, but she doesn't reply because of what he did to her and she can't stand him. But Saikin thinks she has another boyfriend and jokes with her, believing the fight between her and Kiefer was just a lover's quarrel. She denies it immediately, and goes to tell him what happened because she was willing to sacrifice her life. And in return, he yells at her. He sends LA to tell her to come down to him instead of talking to Angelo, and he makes her go down to him right away. He takes her as his prize, and she goes with him while he's upset with her. She tells him she's upset because of what happened, and he wants him to apologize. Everyone sees it from their own perspective because he wants her to save him, and he was actually worried about her. She starts cursing, and he thinks she cursed as they agreed, but she refuses. So he gives in and thanks her because she was right and saved his brothers. Despite everything, he was definitely hard on himself because of what happened between him and his father. This made him remember when he was little, how his father constantly challenged him and couldn't bear to let him lose anything. He was always fighting with Yuri, and he came to him thinking his father was the one who did. This was the first time Angelo met him. He was crazy like his father, but he taught him how to use his strength to protect the people he loved. In contrast, his father had been violent towards his mother since they were little, seeing her as constantly taking money from him. He hurt her and didn't even care about the children, who had lived a difficult life since they were children. Angelo went and decided to help him become strong so he could protect his mother from him. When they kept him away from his father, his mother became pregnant with Karen, which brought him back to them. But when they returned, his father was constantly fighting with his mother, and he decided to defend her. But she was holding back. This made him fight with his father all the time, and he was literally trying to save her. She doesn't consider him anything and tries to stop him from his actions. When he's about to finish him off, she goes and hits him, making him escape. She'll take care of everything, but unfortunately, his father was a monster and decided to beat her even more until she fainted. He couldn't do anything for her, and in the end he killed her. He couldn't do anything after beating her and tried to revive her, but she was already dead. He lived a truly tragic life and failed to protect his mother until she died. But now he won't let Liv take his siblings from him, and that's why he's fighting alongside him. He kidnapped Kieran before, for his own good, and is trying to shift the blame onto him, but he won't be weak like before. He'll protect his siblings, and this makes her cry because her father is awful and has endured so much. She sees him as brave for being able to withstand all of this. She thought her life was difficult, but he turned out to be even harder. There are many stories, including one where, after his father remarried, he returned to take everything from them. They are deeply affected and decide to leave, but he doesn't want her to sacrifice herself again because he wants to protect the people he loves. He makes her happy and focuses on her even when he's sad. They leave immediately, and he drives her home, taking care of her. She goes to see him off right away, and he leaves with her watching him. But then she comes in and rushes in because she's taking too long. She notices that she's drawn to Kiefer and doesn't know how she can be with Yuri and Kiefer. She has to put a stop to this before Angelo finds out. She tells him that it's obvious she loves Kiefer, even though he thinks he's just playing her and using her to get revenge. He says that he used to say the same things to her and yells at her because he's only using her. He makes her cry a lot, and she gets very tired and sad. She sits there sad and remembers in that Ares is trying to doubt her about how, because of what he said, he also said it, and she thinks that he is playing on her. But she does not believe this at all, and that he trusts her and told her what is happening between him and his father, and they trust each other and love each other too. And she becomes confused and decides to follow Lev, that Ares knows about this relationship of theirs, and that is why he is berating her. And I see that she is crying because her voice was different, and he did not say anything to her that would bother her. He decides to hit him to get away from her, and he is ready to get into an argument with anyone in her family because of her and to reassure her. And she sees that he is crazy, but he knows that he loves her, and he comes and says that he loves her to no end. And she stops him and wants him to change that and says, "I love her only," and he says that he loves her. And the whole room that is outside has no end, and they both rejoice. And he reassures her, because if Anjo knew, he would talk to him, even if they go in when they have a fight. He confesses his love to her, and she confesses her love to him too. CM gets upset with him because he's always intrusive and thinks she loves him. He thinks he's handsome, so she doesn't want to know how he's bothering her. That's why she hits him where it hurts, and she argues with him when he's about to leave, because his mother brought something to the apartment and they're leaving soon. She goes and jokes with him because he's leaving her alone, and this makes her miss him. She'll visit him there, and they joke together, because he was taking care of the room. She's happy that he'll have his own place and be independent, instead of being with her. She's still confused about what to do, because of the situation between her and Keith and Yuri, which seems to be falling apart. She's very distracted, and Keith notices that she's not well, but she denies it. They decide to go to sleep right away, and she thinks about her future, and that she needs to talk to Yuri since Kaffer chose to keep Yuri's friendship and prevent the relationship from falling apart. The day passes and Wasim keeps singing, which she doesn't like because he always gives her a headache. She forgets her ID upstairs, so he decides to wait for her outside. Fairs arrives and sees that she should marry Yuri. He thinks she's beautiful, but how can she marry Yuri when she loves Kaf? He leaves, but his words affect her again. He believes his words are true, even if they're upsetting, but Yuri needs to know the truth, that she loves Kaf. She needs to end their relationship so she doesn't hurt his feelings or lose him. She thinks a lot about it and goes to school, unsure how to approach Yuri. She considers texting him to ask to meet him, but he replies that he can't come because he has a wedding. She focuses on herself and is upset because she wants to meet him and get to know him. Suddenly, Kaf arrives and she denies that anything is bothering her. Severe went to Rocky, and that's why she knows him. She feels guilty because she needs to know what's going on between them, what he agrees to with her, and she doesn't understand why they love the same girl, again. She doesn't know how to act. But what she does know is that he wants her and wants to stay with her and face everyone, even if it means getting into a fight. He wants her to call him immediately if anything happens to her, and he'll come right away. Fury is at home, practicing being upset and taking his anger out on anything. But she goes to him because he's feeling unwell, and she doesn't know how to approach him because she wants him to be happy and live happily without hurting anyone. She decides to tell him the truth now, so they sit together. He senses that she's not okay at all, and she apologizes to him, saying that she tried but couldn't do anything because she gets bored easily and affects him deeply. That's why he tells her that he knew from the beginning. She chooses how, but at least she tried. And he tried and lost again in the end. He's not stupid. He knows everything, including what happened on New Year's Eve. Even if she didn't tell him, he knows he has people helping him too, and he wants her to leave. He'll let her contact Keith, but he'll marry her and destroy Kafir's company, even if it hurts him. But she's the one who hurt him, first with everything she did. She needs to remember that in the end, she'll be his and his alone. He wants her to leave because, like Ella, she uses people to get what she wants. She leaves crying, and he gets very upset because he truly loves her. She goes to Kafir crying because he won't cancel the wedding and she doesn't want him to cause trouble. He goes to comfort her so she'll stop crying, glances at her quickly, and teases her for being childish and crying like that. He reassures her that they'll definitely find a way to stop the wedding before it happens. He constantly pays attention to her, and they focus on each other. So he goes and tells her that he spoke with Percy, and, as he told her, he's trying to get information about her father. He says he contacted the secretary, who connected him, and then he plays this recording for him. Percy is responding, but he doesn't want to give it to Mariano right away, thinking it won't reach him at all. They'll return soon to get Gigi, leaving her confused and unsure of what's happening. They have no choice but to wait, which she's tired of, but he tries to comfort her as much as he can. They're happy together, and she's relieved, though she's crying. They leave, and he drops her off at home. She's happy, but suddenly she sees Angelo and immediately hides from him. She makes them both hide and they go downstairs. She confronts him saying he'll fight, but he has to be prepared because he's strong. He keeps talking and gets angry at something, then enters immediately. She gets up without hiding and he drops her off again. Suddenly Ars takes her. Kiefer pulls her close and kisses her in front of him, confessing his love for her. This upsets Ares, who immediately leaves. Kiefer also leaves, putting Gajea under pressure, and she doesn't know how to react. The day passes, and Wasim goes to gather his things because the rescue is about to end. He confronts her about her loving him and how handsome he is, but she quickly silences him. They get into arguments and she helps him. Suddenly she falls and the bag hits Quars, injuring him. She immediately apologizes to him. He sees that even though he's leaving, he's still a source of annoyance, and they blame each other. Angelo arrives to take them to his father, the doctor, and they leave together. She thanks Angelo for taking Cian home, and she enjoys her time, thinking about how she wants to help him save the company, and why there's no other way. Suddenly the owner of the land, the tiger, arrives. He knew her, and this was in front of Angelo. And he knew her too. And he saw that she was everywhere, and they welcomed her. Some of them realized they met and got to know each other at her club, which makes her very afraid of Angelo because the place is dangerous for her. Suddenly this person arrives and welcomes them. He notices that the tiger has grown older and, of course, can't speak when they attack him. She's happy but afraid of Angelo, who scolds her for going to the club without telling him, even if it was a long time ago. They go upstairs to his mother's house and learn that Ars is in the hospital. They are very worried about him, so she spends some time thinking about what happened to Ars. She's lost in thought, and Kiefer notices this and thinks she's reminding him of what happened. She tells him it's because of Ars, who suffers from fibrosis and rheumatism, and she doesn't know the cause. That's why he holds her hand and reassures her that he'll be okay no matter what. Suddenly, Seymour sees them and goes to expose them in class, thinking they make a good couple, but she goes to think about everything. This happened, and the worries stayed with her. Suddenly, the teacher came to collect their books and started explaining the lesson. While she was explaining, Kevi bumped into her and joked with her. She thought about leaving the class, but refused. Then Kevi grabbed her and carried her on his lap in front of the whole class. She was shocked. When she called out to them, he told them that she was now under his name. Everyone was happy and made fun of her, and no one helped her. So the teacher sat her down and asked him what she had been explaining. Kevi answered immediately, paying attention to what she was saying. Despite his short stature, this shocked everyone, especially Jigagi, who didn't know how to answer him. Then Kevi said that he loved her, and they were both happy. But they sat down again, and everyone was watching, some happy, some upset. Time passed, and it was lunchtime when she asked about Drudenzel. Mayo and the others aren't there, but then Kiefer comes and says her name and his, and that she's his wife now. He says she's his wife in his life, and he's happy because she means everything to him. They tease her and embarrass her, then make her leave immediately. They gather around for a meal, and she goes up to Drew, Denzel and Mayo, who is happy, but they confront her about her and Kiefer being together now. She denies it, and that's why they ask her about Yuri, whom she should have chosen because Kiefer will hurt her, not act. They don't want her to regret not choosing Yuri, and the class will split up again, so she shouldn't be the reason for that. They leave immediately, leaving her shocked to see that this happened to Ella before. She told them that she'll be ruined, so she goes and thinks, not knowing what to do because they're going to fight. Suddenly, Angelo comes to her, and she wants to wear a dress because they're going to his place, which makes her very surprised. He takes her to the hotel and restaurant, and she still doesn't know where she's going. He tells her they'll be having dinner with Yuri and his family, who are overjoyed to see her and check on Ars, who's been having trouble breathing for a while. Yuri's mother is waiting for the wedding to happen on Jaisha's birthday, but she's upset because her own birthday is months away. She's lost in thought, wondering when she'll choose her dress and whether she'll go with her. She sees Yuri acting lovingly in front of them, even if he's upset with her, and she senses she'll face difficulties going to Japan with them. She's upset because she doesn't want that to happen at all. She lets Yuri take her and they walk alone for a while. She doesn't understand what happened, but he wants her, even if she pretends to agree. His only goal is not to lose out to Keith, even if her heart belongs to him because he's the one she'll marry in the end. He leaves. She doesn't want to go in there again, and suddenly she sees this girl, who's Blaster's friend. She knows she's coming and wants to ask her for something. Suddenly, Kajan arrives, coming to celebrate her birthday there, because Kif is with them too. She's shocked and scared that something might happen. She doesn't want to get involved in other people's problems. She already has enough on her plate. So she goes and sees a girl who's been getting close to Kif, who is coming. Everyone is already part of the group. Kif explains how to meet her and that her name is Maki. When she comes to feed her, Jaja gets very upset. She literally can't stand them, and it's obvious she's jealous. But Yuri's family takes Angelo for work, so Yuri is given Jaja's food and eats it in front of Kif and Maki. She wants to know what their relationship is, and they say they're close friends. Not really. This is the same as her and Kif, and Yuri finds that. She's upset and texting Kafir, who laughs at her and confesses his love, but she's unmoved and insults him. He sees her using bad language again, and then there's going to be a kiss, but Maki takes the phone from him and gets close to him. This makes Yuri notice that she's jealous, and laughs with him at her words. She goes to talk to her, saying that she's not a stranger to her, and she keeps saying that she can't stand her and repeats that her beauty is unique. But she tells her that there are definitely others like her in the zoo and that she's very ugly when she laughs with her. She doesn't like her at all. And they don't like each other either. But Kagan quickly silences them and lets Maki go. She wants Kaf to go with her, but she stops him immediately. She actually goes alone, and he follows her and focuses on her in the bathroom, talking about how she's hovering over everyone. Currently with Hao, and she thinks she's not pretty, but she's trying to get guys to notice her. And she learned this from her mother. She shocks JJ, who immediately punches her in the face, making her bleed and curses her terribly. So she goes and says she's not like her mother. But Hao goes and denies being jealous, cursing him and saying she can't stand him. She walks away, then goes to school and sits there, completely fed up with Hao. They're collecting money, and he tells her that Hao defended her. She blames him for that and challenges him because she can't stand him. He grabs her as she walks away because she's been following him since yesterday, and he gets close to her because she's jealous of what happened. She confronts him, but he gets close because there's no reason for her to be jealous. She's always thinking about where her thing is, and they focus on each other. He kisses her, and everyone is happy, but the other team doesn't like this at all. Then he comes along, and they tell her she's wanted in the summons office. Yuri and Kiefer are sitting there, not speaking at all, so she goes to talk to her. She wants her previous teacher's autograph, and without it, she won't graduate. She doesn't want to go there because she doesn't want to meet Cyrus. She'll give her leave so she can go, and she takes a pill she doesn't like at all. The class starts fighting to defend Jijai, and then she comes and stops them because Yuri is against Kiefer. You see that the division has begun between them, and they are very shocked. The class is divided and they fight each other from the second, and she is shocked at how he and Yuri stand facing each other. And she goes to sit while thinking about what made them like this, and I see that this is something different for him because she had not seen this before. And she is thinking about talking to them to find out what happened, and that no one is willing to know her, but she must know exactly what their secret is. Suddenly, she finds a lot of chocolate with her, and she thinks that Sakin is the one who brought it to her, and the one who is going to see this, and she will give it to him. But in exchange for this, he will let her know what happened. Of course, he refuses, so she goes, to open it in front of the whole class and tries to seduce him so that they know her. What happened to them and is hidden from her? When she makes everyone want chocolate before the exam and keeps pretending that she is very happy with chocolate, but her phone sends me a message here from Kafir and she wants to stop with her. Because it is not funny, but she decides to continue what she is doing and the bad guy decides to talk and introduce her. In exchange for the chocolate and she gives him everything he has in exchange for him not knowing her. Question, and she says that they are. Why? They look into the past. And so he goes to tell her that Lori was upset with the people and they were supporting him. And he sees that what is happening is normal and that the whole class is not supposed to be like this at all. And because of this, they go into disbelief and he tries to silence them, but she stops him and disrupts the chocolate jug. All the while, and he rejoices, and she sees that they are still upset with each other. And suddenly the teacher comes, because of the exam, and this happened in her favor so that they stop fighting. When you are preparing for the exam, and what you are starting here, time is running out and everyone is complaining about the difficulty of the exam. Most of them don't finish. But they go and pick up the paper from them all the time, and they walk from class until they reach Jaija, and he informs her that she has to pass the paper from the previous school so that her grades can be counted, and she starts to graduate, and he takes the paper from her even when she is not finished yet, so she goes home in this messy room of hers and sends SN to let her know exactly what is happening. And so he calls her and informs her. He wasn't supposed to let her know this, and I hope she forgives him because he owes her a lot and keeps talking to her, and she's upset. So we go to the night she came to visit Iris in the first place, and she's hesitant about whether she's going to come or not, but she has to do this to make her know what she's going to be in. She's trying to calm herself down as much as she can, and she's going into her room for the first time and seeing her room for the first time. I admire her, but she doesn't know what brought her here, and that's why you know how he can come here so easily. And how she's with Yuri and loves Keith. She should leave him, especially since she knows Yuri and that he's still waiting for her to love him. She shouldn't have given him any hope because she's hurting him. That's why Jajib is clapping for him, because she's the one who started the conflict between Yuri and Keith. She leaves and doesn't want to talk to him at all, but before she leaves, she warns her not to be stubborn because she'll regret it if she stays with her, and she's experienced that before. But Jajib makes fun of her and goes to sit alone, so while he's busy organizing the school and class camping trip, suddenly Ella messages Yuri and wants to talk to him. This is while the class is walking, with Jajib and Keith, who is focused on him. She's thinking that she won't focus on Yuri or think about her relationship with him, and she goes and makes fun of Freya as she walks. And she makes fun of the people accompanying her and says that the place is useless. At the campsite, Varya is basically in control of everyone around her, especially Mika and Jajiga. Sim teases her because she's definitely not going to be like them. So they tell them that this location is for their class, but first they have to take a picture together. They all go and gather and take a picture together, and they're very happy. Then it's night and they set up camp. Wikilees thinks the organizer is probably annoyed with them for leaving them in this messy place, and Shagya doesn't like it and doesn't know how to handle it. That's why Kev goes to her and decides to help her set up her campsite. She tells him that she's going to her school tomorrow to sign the papers since it's nearby, and she refuses to let Sakine go with her. So Kev insists on going with her so that nothing like that happens to her, and also Yuri. He comes here and she decides to meet them tomorrow morning, and she thinks that she will not know anyone and will run away while everyone is sleeping better early, and she goes to interact with Cien. Kiefer goes to meet Adrian tomorrow. Vian brings his phone to follow Jajawi there, so the day passes and she comes to the old school and welcomes this guard, who is surprised when he sees her and knows that it has been a long time since the last time Mia walked. He informs her that Ciro, her friend from a long time ago, is here now, so she should take her mind and know that everyone here knew about their relationship. She goes walking and thinks and starts to feel sorry for him because she did something bad to him before, but he accepts that this is normal and they both are happy. She walks away and thinks about her old school and hopes that she will never see Cyrus while she goes walking. She's disguised and can't believe she's finally getting into the principal's office, but she goes in and finds Cyrus right there in front of her. He's overjoyed to see her and she's shocked. He tells her he's very pleased to see her, and when she tries to leave, he stops her and chokes her because he's still talking to her. He also tells her where he missed her, and that's why he's trying to make her suffer like she did to him before. He terrifies her and laughs at her state, wanting revenge for what she did to him. He leaves and she remains in shock. She tries to get up, especially when the teacher arrives and sees that she seems to have become respectable since she was always yelling at her. She wants to check her information, but Jajai leaves still in shock. Cyrus goes to her and tries to talk to her, but she immediately hits him and shocks him. She tells him to stay away from her before she explodes in his face. And that's why he tells her he intends to give her a taste of her own medicine. What she did to him, and they hit her. They knock her down and he beats her, because there is no help for her. And they pin him down so he can hit her with his comfort, and all of a sudden Hao and Yuri come and stop him and beat him all. The time in the whole class comes and she hits the one who lives in her, and David checks on her, and the fed up one comes and checks on her, but Cersei doesn't know who they are, and Eurosifer knows him themselves, and they hit him all the time, and the class knows how to lose, Gega coming really with ease, and the girls there like them too. So David goes to check on Jagai and the class, and Kiefer hits Cyrus because of what he did to Jagai, and Farhan sees that she follows Jagai and is happy that they did, that and wants to know what he likes about Jagai, and so they tell him that she is their friend, and classmate, and who is in the family and from what class. And Kiefer says that she is his and they beat her up, but he talks a lot, and because so you go and stop them all the time. He's just been discharged from the hospital and is completely exhausted, but Kiefer immediately picks her up. He keeps watching Tyre, who is obviously sad, and gives her a quick kiss, a kiss to make up for the bad language she was using. They leave the camp under Tyre's watchful eye, who is very upset about this. They arrive back at the camp and want to eat, but they're happy with their new clothes. Fashish comes under Kiefer's watch, and he goes to eat. But David arrives and is waiting for her to say anything to him, so he can stay with her. When Kiefer sees her with David, he changes his mind and goes to give her food. He sits next to them and next to Yuri, letting her eat instead of taking her to the hospital, just to check on her. She looks at both of them, and David is annoyed by his closeness and leaves. So Kiefer goes to sit next to her, while Yuri watches, telling her not to go out alone from now on without someone with her, because if they aren't there, they arrived and she was very upset. So she told them about Cyrus, and that she went even though she didn't want to meet him in the first place. They kept questioning her and were very worried about her, seeing that he was jealous and upset because she would get hurt by them. He admitted to her that it was too young for her to meet her ex, and asked the sleeping buff for his opinion on what would happen, and he was definitely right. To end the conversation, he warned her that if she did anything without telling them, he would lock her in the house afterward, making her wonder why everyone was so worried about her and against her. So they bought time and returned in the cold rain, only to find that their fire had been stolen. They were freezing, cold, and discovered that A's department had come to their place and literally wrecked it. He saw that they had taken her favorite toys too, and they found that their things had literally been stolen. But they were scared when they found something like, they find a dead snake and are thinking of using it to get their revenge. They wake up early and go to execute Cian's plan to go to the police station to get their revenge. They go and hide before being seen by the snake. This is when Fee is very spoiled and playing with her friends. But David takes the snake from Cian and bids it farewell, saying that he will be the one to avenge them. He takes it inside, and they have already made a plan. They are sleeping and moving the snake, pretending that Fee is moving. Maria tells Fee that she is brave and will do anything. But when they see the snake, they all scream and run away immediately. So they go to get the food they have and Gage's teddy bear. Kaffer checks the other stations and agrees on a meeting place. He goes to celebrate with the others that they will actually get their revenge. The chapter begins with everyone arriving and staying in the building. They all enjoy themselves together, so they sell their belongings and divide themselves up to share the tent. Sakin will be with her, but Kafar refuses because he's jealous and rejects this, even though Jay Jagai wants to hear his story. She's happy and tells him that Jay Jagai won't share the service with anyone but him. But Yuru opposes him and wants to leave Jagai alone. She chooses to stay with him, and she's very happy and jealous of what's happening. The day passes, and Jagai takes care of herself like the other girls, which is unusual for her. But their classmate, Anna, comes and thinks that someone is hurting her because of marks on her neck. She thinks it's because of Kefir, and tells her that if he's hurting her, she should find out, but Shashai denies that he's doing anything to her, and that's why she tells her that Kefar was crazy, and the first reason is Freya, and he was very jealous of her. It's clear that GGJ will discover more about how, and a dark side of injustice will start to emerge. One of them goes to eat, and Freya comes and bumps into her. It's clear that they argue, and she doesn't listen to Mika's advice to calm down. She goes to find out who she is and believes she made the right choice. They try to stop her, but she yells at everyone, especially Yuri. That's why she tells her that it seems she's trying to get closer to everyone. When Kirkus stops her, she brings up his brother Percy, because she knows he'll be upset by it. This shocks Gigi J because how could Percy have been there recently? She also tells her that her friends did difficult things for her, which affects Gigi J. She leaves upset, and they refuse to talk to her about Percy. But she's still upset because she wants to know the truth they're hiding. As she leaves she goes alone to the river to get some water, and suddenly she hears a woman crying. She can't stand her at all and doesn't know what she wants. She wants her to leave because she can't argue with him right now. But Jaja goes and talks to her, and she tells her that she's not playing games with everyone like she thinks. That's why Feria tells her that Keith and Yuri are her exes, and that after Pierce left, Yuri was the first person to truly love her and give her what she wanted, like any man would. Then he left her and abandoned her, and she couldn't forgive him for what he did. Then Keith appeared and did the same, saving him from his situation. But jealousy had taken over him terribly, and he didn't want her to be with anyone else. She doesn't want to do anything without him or upset him, and to get over this, she tried to flirt with other people until they broke up. This upsets Jaja because she didn't know the truth. Sia continues, saying, people started seeing her in a negative light, completely unaware of the truth. When she tried to leave, Jajaya would hug her, but she'd stop and walk away alone. This made Jajaya think about the many secrets hidden from her. Will she find out what's coming in her relationship with Keith? Suddenly the rest of the class arrives at this place and finds Jajaji. They're happy, but she's upset because she didn't want anyone with her in this quiet place. They walk, afraid they might fall, and they cry all the time. Suddenly David arrives, wanting to know what they were talking about with Feria. Felix arrives and jokes with them, and they decide to go and take pictures together before going into the river. CM takes pictures of Jajaji too, and David suggests she go and have fun with them in the river, but she decides to stay alone. This makes Adrex go and catch them, taking pictures of her and throwing water on her to get her to go into the river with them. She stayed and enjoyed her time for a while, and Sack told them that he had seen her house before, and that there was a mark, like a tiger on the skin. Everyone who saw it wondered what it was, and she also wondered what had happened to her. She was sad that she couldn't see it and said that it happened when she was little, but she couldn't remember what had caused it. When she was sad, they would joke with her about her scar and make her go down to the river with them against her will. Of course, Ismatzin had taken pictures of them, and they would go around joking with him all the time. She was happy, and they played together in the fire. She was happy with the rest of the group, and they were really doing well. They passed the time and went home happy, especially Jay and Gigi. But she was shocked when she found Angelo, sitting with the camp supervisor, who asked her where she had been. He refused to speak to her at all. Ars came and Angelo confronted her, saying that Cyrus's family had contacted him and that he had gone to the hospital through his friends, and that she was the reason for what had happened. Whether or not, and you see that she always causes problems for them, especially Ars, who thinks she is crazy because she always hurts people and does not listen to their words at all, but Angelo wants to know what happened, and because of that, Kiefer Bijou informs him that he is the one who did this to Jai, and that he made this place of Jai because Cyrus used to hit her. And if it weren't for them, it wouldn't have been Jai. Jai would still be fine. And Cyrus did this because he wanted her to leave Angelo as a very strange stranger, and take them back to their camp the next time. She goes with Kev under the supervision of Ares and Angelo, so she goes with him and sees that there is something inside her and asks him why, and he promises her that he will tell her the truth. And because of that, she asks him whether he really harmed Feria or not, and this is what he is sure of, and I still don't understand why he did that. And that's why he tells her that Feria was everything to him. He had no intention of hurting her. But after that he found out that she was still in love with Yuri. This upset him because of this, and he hurt her, and I can't stand the amount of jealousy that was there, and I see that he is like his father in this situation, but she is sure that he is different from his father much better, and because of that he feels sorry for her and promises her that this will never happen, that I will never hurt anyone at all, and that's why she asks him how he broke up with her, and this is what happened because Michael showed her pictures of them together, and for so, she goes and walks and gets very emotional, and when she asks about Yuri, he won't talk because he doesn't know what to do, and wants her to keep asking him about anything in her, and he gives her answers and comforts her in talking. They are happy together and they walk. So time passes and she is asleep, but she is surprised that Kif and Yuri are bonding with her, and this is because she does not run away from them like every time and wakes up. Kif and Yuri don't. They leave her alone, and that's why they think about what happened at night before they go to sleep. When I drank, I went to the classroom, and they were filming her. She was completely out of it, doing strange things. She was really crazy and totally abnormal. She didn't like what happened, and they untied her with the rope they had tied up. She came out of the tent and found everyone sitting there, scared of her because she was really crazy. Kiefer was teasing her, because she had been calling herself Barcode for a while, And that's why, she had played that character in a school play before. Then CM showed her the video of her acting, holding a knife, chasing everyone, and they literally hit her and teased her. She was wondering which one to sacrifice, and she was chasing after anyone she met, especially Kiefer. She was really crazy, and everyone was scared of her, especially Cien, who was literally terrified of her and couldn't sleep because of her. She could do anything to them, and then she would go and apologize to them, so they would forgive her right away. She needs to take a shower, and the day is already passing, and she goes to do this all the time, but Faria goes to her while she is brushing her teeth and makes her know that she is doing well with her body and tries to bother her all the time and makes the girl focus very much on her, and she sees what is on her face and what she goes to check for herself, and she becomes very obsessed with herself and her appearance in the middle of a follower. Gega comes to her, who is surprised at what she is doing this and how she cares about herself. To this point, the class is happy with this good food, but Jai comes and rejoices with them, and it is a very harmonious class. And when they start joking, how does he stop them? Because he is jealous of her, of course. But they go to eat Act's food, and she loves this food of hers and sees that. This cake is very sweet, but suddenly Faria comes, anticipating the taste of it. And everyone sees this, and Anna, she's very jealous of her. But Jaga gets annoyed here and sees that she's trying to eat and gain weight, and she's making fun of her. She also sees that Faria is only thinking about herself and is always pushing her around. She finds her very strange, and she's actually with Teor and Kever, but Kever goes to her and gives her his food, pretending he's not hungry at all. Yuri is obviously annoyed by their good treatment. She goes and enjoys the food, eats to kill time, and walks with Kever and the team, who are bored and thinking of playing a new game with Jaga, who was impersonating Barcoda. They're really teasing her, so he goes to find out from her that Barcoda was always a beautiful and charming person, and that after she did the play, she became pregnant. They think she's pregnant and check on him and his apartment and even joke with him. Suddenly, they go and beg the supervisors to let them participate in the activities like the other departments, but they refuse because the department isn't allowed to do anything. He's completely lost in thought as he walks by, wondering what they're hiding from her. They go play Truth or Dare, and then they dance all the time. Kiefer laughs at them, of course, and they're all happy together. She hopes everyone is happy and doesn't fight because of her. That's why they let the Jaija choose Truth or Dare for her. David asks her if there's any chance of him being with her without Kiefer, which annoys Kiefer and Yuri. But he says he's just joking and it's just a game. That's why Kiefer tells them that she used to call him King of Kings, and she immediately tries to silence him. He then asks her about someone who makes her think about him, which makes her sad. She tells him that when she was a child, she woke up in the hospital and doesn't remember anything that happened to her, but she still has scars on her body. When she returned to her grandmother's house, she learned that this happened because of the man she married, but she doesn't remember anything. And they can see that what happened to her, she suffers from occasional amnesia, and they check on her, but she keeps getting confused. So they go and ask Yuri, and he chooses to tell the truth. That's why they ask him when he fell for Jay, and he says it happened during her first few weeks at the station. They're moved, and that's why they ask him when he was going to tell them about her engagement to Gigi. It literally shocks everyone. That's why he tells them that the connection between Yuri's family and Gigi is nothing more. They're surprised because they didn't care that she might be suffering from what happened. So they confront each other about what happened to Percy. They start arguing, and Jay gets scared because she didn't want to fight between them. They confront Gigi about how she should have left the station when it was ruined because of her. This makes Kafer hit Josh, and he doesn't want anyone to talk to Gigi at all. This is where the fight between them starts. And Jaji tries to stop them all the time, shouting, and seeing that everyone is fighting because of her, and she doesn't know how to act. But the supervisor comes here and stops them immediately, not knowing what happened to them. Kiefer looks at Jaji and sees that everything is being destroyed because of her, and that this once harmonious class is now filled with animosity because of her. So he passes by Jaji, who wakes up to find Kiefer hugging her. She focuses on him and sees that Josh was right, and she should have left the department at that time. She focuses on Kiefer while he is sleeping and touches him, focusing intently on him because she has fallen in love with him. She is very happy and sees that she is in love with him now and wants to please him. But she is afraid that the department will become hostile. She tells Kiefer that she is still in his hands, and she doesn't want him to be without her. She goes to get closer to kiss him, but she notices that he is awake and tells her that it is just a normal kiss and hugs her, because he likes it. And they kiss here all the time, and they love it very much. And they love each other a lot. But they get up when everyone wakes up. So she goes to look for Yuri and finds him with Ai, who refuses to be with her at all. She asks him if he really loves Jajajai or not, and he confirms it and leaves. She apologizes to him because she lied because his mother talked to her and said that she wasn't right for him in the first place, and she wants to stop him from being with Jajajai because she's the one who really loves him, not Kev. They are shocked, and she's saying all this because she won. Yuri doesn't trust her and doesn't know how to believe her, even though she's telling the truth. She keeps apologizing to her for everything that happened. But suddenly Ars comes to them. And Kev goes to hit her, but Kev stops him. Ars goes to blame her because she betrayed him and came back to Yuri because she loves him and she keeps crying. Ars is about to hit her. Yuri, but how could he beat him and Boywoff? He knew this from the beginning. And if she came in to prevent him from Ella, he walked away. And Gajajia went after Yuri and asked how to do it. So Ella went calling for him in the forest in the middle of this rain. And she was afraid while looking for him. And he was already sitting cold. And she saw that he was hot and suffering from a fever. And that's why she took care of him. And he went to tell him that he was sorry for what happened. He doesn't know why he keeps her love for him and makes her hug him and she feels sorry for him. Because these are just problems. And she can't give up her unrequited love. So he goes to tell her that Umawal takes care of the family and was a little reluctant from the beginning because she loves him and cares for him and his family. Is very strange, and she also likes to joke with him together, and because of that he tells her that he is still wrong and is treating her because he is the one who loved her. He proposes to her and he is the one who arranged their engagement together and told Angelo in order to maintain his company and work. That's because he loves her and will save her from. Kafar, however, sees this as not love, but selfishness on his part. She yells at him, and he is affected and cries. They remain upset, so the day passes, and he falls asleep on her lap. Yana wakes up and wakes him up. And he apologizes to her, but all he did was because he loves her. When she's about to leave, he hugs her, confused. But how can he come here when he is completely disheveled because he was looking for her all night and was worried about her? The whole team comes and checks on her. But she goes to Kafar, who is very upset with her and thinks that she went to cheat on him with Yuri. He is upset and angry with himself and cries. But Jay comes running and sees that he is crying and angry. She tells him to pretend that he did not see anything and leaves immediately. Jajai does not know what to do and how long she will stay like this. She cries and is really confused about who Jajai will choose between them. Is the solution for her to stay away from the department? What is the name of it, or what will she do? Write in the comments what solution you're going to do, and that's what I know for the next part. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel. Bye.